In small towns across Mexico, campaigning for local office can feel more like an act of bravery than ambition. In places like Texistepec, Veracruz, running for mayor isn't about fame or power, it's about fixing broken roads, keeping children safe, and bringing clean water to homes. That's exactly why 44-year-old Yesenia Lara Gutierrez stepped into the race. A former schoolteacher and mother of two, she believed her town deserved better. She wasn't famous. She wasn't rich. But people trusted her, and that meant something. On the evening of May 11, 2024, Yesenia stood before her neighbors holding a microphone and live-streaming her campaign message on Facebook. She had no idea her final words would be broadcast live to the world. Why would someone target a woman like Yesenia? What happened that night, and what does it say about the risks ordinary people take to make their communities better? Hit like, subscribe, and let's go! Yesenia Lara Gutierrez woke up early every morning, long before the sun touched the rooftops of Texistepec. She'd brew a pot of strong coffee, check on her aging parents next door, and water the small garden she kept behind her modest home. Most days, she wore simple clothes, nothing fancy, just comfortable. Before politics, she was a teacher who knew every child's name in her classroom and often brought extra lunch for the ones who came to school hungry. People in town respected her not because she was loud, but because she listened. When she decided to run for mayor, it wasn't a grand announcement. She just started showing up at local meetings, at the market, at neighbors' homes, asking what people needed. Life still felt normal, almost peaceful. But some said her presence had started to make certain people nervous. Not everyone liked the idea of change, especially in a place where too many things were left unspoken. It started with a message slipped under her front door. No name, no signature, just a folded scrap of paper with 6 handwritten words, "Stay home. This isn't your fight." At first, Yesenia thought it might be a prank, maybe even a poorly timed joke. But something about the neat handwriting and the silence that followed made her uneasy. She didn't tell her family right away. Instead, she tucked the note into her purse and went about her day as usual, visiting a school, handing out flyers, listening to concerns about a broken drainage system. Later that evening, she mentioned it casually to a close friend over coffee. "Probably nothing," she said with a half smile. But when the friend's face tightened and he warned her to be careful, she felt a chill run through her chest. Nothing had really happened, but something had shifted. And deep down, she sensed it wasn't over. A week after the note, Yesenia noticed a white truck parked near her home, not once, but several times, always with the engine running and the driver hidden behind tinted windows. It didn't belong to anyone in the neighborhood. When she walked toward it one afternoon, pretending to be on the phone, the truck quietly pulled away without a word. Then came the phone calls, brief, silent, always at night. Just breathing on the other end. She mentioned it to the local police, but they shrugged. No threats, no names, nothing they could act on. Probably just a prank, they said. But deep down, Yesenia knew better. She started double-locking her doors, keeping the porch light on all night, and asking her niece to walk with her during campaign visits. She didn't want to stop. People were counting on her. But in quiet moments, she found herself checking over her shoulder, wondering who might be watching and why. Everything shifted the morning Yesenia found her campaign posters slashed and scattered across the plaza. Not just torn, but defaced with black spray paint, the word traitor scrawled in large, angry letters. It wasn't random vandalism. It was personal. That same day, a friend from a nearby town, Rafael, an independent journalist she'd known for years, paid her an unexpected visit. He'd heard whispers that her name had appeared on an internal list circulated among certain interests in the region. It wasn't official, but in towns like Texistepec, such lists often meant trouble. Yesenia felt her stomach drop. This wasn't just about a local election, it was about stepping on the wrong toes. Still, instead of backing down, she asked Rafael to help her document everything. She began quietly recording meetings, logging strange encounters, and collecting evidence. If anything happened, she wanted people to know the truth didn't die with her. For the first time, she admitted to herself she might be in danger. One evening, as Rafael reviewed footage from a recent town hall, he paused on a frame. Barely visible in the crowd was a man with no local ties. Wearing a jacket marked with the insignia of a dissolved private security group known for its ties to organized crime. "He's been spotted at 3 of your events," Rafael said quietly. "He's not here for the speeches." That detail struck Yesenia like a punch to the chest. She wasn't just facing anonymous threats, someone was actively following her, blending into the crowd, studying her moves. The implications were terrifying. This wasn't about disagreement or rivalry, it was about control. And somewhere, someone had decided she was a threat worth silencing. Fear crept into every corner of her life. She started sleeping with her phone in hand and avoided walking alone. But with the election weeks away, she also felt something else, a growing sense of duty. If she backed down now, what message would that send to every woman who dared to stand up? May 11, 2024 arrived under a sweltering sun. Yesenia knew she should cancel the event. Raphael had warned her, more sightings of the same unknown man, more silence from authorities. But the town was expecting her. The plaza was set. The live stream was ready. Pulling up in her modest car, she looked at the small crowd gathering, familiar faces, hopeful eyes. She took a deep breath, stepped onto the stage, and gripped the microphone tighter than usual. As she spoke about community, safety, and change, she saw him again standing just behind a vendor cart, arms crossed, watching. Her voice faltered for half a second, but she pushed on. Backing down now would mean surrender. Still, she could feel it in her bones, something wasn't right. She scanned the crowd once more. Was this bravery or recklessness? Should she have walked away? What happens when doing the right thing puts your life on the line? The gunshot rang out mid-sentence, sharp, final, and unmistakable. Chaos exploded. Screams, running feet, the phone broadcasting her speech tumbling to the pavement. In an instant, the energy of hope turned to panic. Yesenia collapsed, and within moments, so did 3 others around her. Blood stained the ground where children had stood minutes before. Raphael, crouched behind a bench, could only watch in horror as the crowd scattered. The white truck was gone before anyone could catch a plate. Later, in the hospital hallway, whispers spread Yesenia hadn't made it. The town, stunned and broken, fell silent. Her family wept behind closed doors, unsure how to go on. It felt like evil had won. But 2 days later, something unexpected happened. Her supporters returned to the plaza, not with fear, but with candles, signs, and her message on their lips: we deserve better. In that fragile flicker of resistance, hope stirred again. In the weeks that followed, the town of Texistepec refused to be silenced. Yesenia's story spread beyond its dusty streets, sparking conversations about safety, justice, and the true cost of leadership in Mexico's small towns. Her family and friends, inspired by her courage, organized peaceful rallies demanding better protection for candidates and a crackdown on the violence that had taken her life. Raphael's reports brought international attention, pressuring authorities to investigate more thoroughly. Though Yesenia was gone, her vision remained alive. Community members began volunteering to rebuild neglected schools and repair damaged roads. It was a painful, slow process, but it gave people something precious, a sense of control and hope. Her legacy became a quiet reminder that even in the darkest moments, courage can inspire change. Sometimes, the bravest thing isn't winning, it's standing firm, knowing you've already made a difference. What would you do if faced with impossible odds? Months after the tragic night, Texistepec still carries the weight of Yesenia Lara Gutierrez's loss. The streets she once walked now feel emptier, quieter, but her presence lingers in small ways. Her children attend school with their mother's smile in their eyes, neighbors speak her name with both sorrow and pride, and local leaders speak cautiously of change. The town is slowly healing, but the fear remains, a silent shadow over every gathering and campaign. Yesenia's story is not just about one woman's fight, it's about communities caught between hope and danger, courage and compromise. It leaves us asking, when standing up for what's right could cost everything, how do we decide what matters most? And in a world that often rewards silence, what price are we willing to pay for truth? Have you ever faced a moment where doing the right thing felt too risky? How did you choose? Share your thoughts below.